We spend so much of our lives trying to avoid pain, right? Popping pills, just wishing it would go away. But what if it actually did? Forever? Well, today we're going to dive into a really rare condition that sounds like a dream superpower, but it's actually a curse. And it tells us something incredible about the purpose of pain itself. Seriously, just think about that for a second. What would that be like? No more stubbed toes in the middle of the night, no more headaches, no more dreading that dentist appointment. You'd basically be a superhero, right? Totally immune to physical pain. It sounds amazing. And believe it or not, for a handful of people around the world, this isn't a fantasy. It's their actual reality. But here's the crazy part. For them, it's not a dream. It's a nightmare. That so-called superpower, it's actually a life-threatening curse. Because it turns out, a life without pain means you're living without your body's most critical alarm system. So this nightmare has a name. It's called congenital insensitivity to pain, or CIP for short. It's this super rare genetic condition where people are born and they just can't feel physical pain at all. From the moment they're born, their body's most basic danger alert system is just offline. Okay, so what does that actually mean in the real world? Well, it means someone could get a severe burn, break a bone, even have a major internal injury, and have absolutely no clue it's happening. That danger signal that the rest of us take for granted, it just never ever makes it to their brain. Just look at these x-rays. This is pretty shocking. What you're seeing isn't from one big, crazy accident. Nope. This is what happens after years and years of injuries that were never felt. A person with CIP might fracture a finger, right? But since it doesn't hurt, they just keep using their hand like normal. And over time, the bone can literally just wear away. It's this silent, invisible destruction happening from the inside. And the list of dangers just gets more and more terrifying. I mean, there's one case report about a 17-year-old. They had repeated fractures, septic arthritis, really bad bone infections, and all of it started from minor injuries that nobody even noticed. And you can just imagine for little kids who are always bumping into things and exploring, the risk is off the charts. This quote from an expert, wow, it really hits hard. Think about a little kid who's teething. It's totally normal, right? But for a toddler with CIP, that can mean, well, they can bite off the tip of their tongue or chew their own fingers down to the bone. And they don't even cry because they have no idea they're hurting themselves so badly. So all of this really makes you stop and think, right? What even is pain? We're so used to thinking of it as the enemy, the thing to get rid of. But what these rare cases show us is that the absence of pain, that's the real problem. So the big idea here is we kind of have to flip our thinking about pain. Pain isn't the injury, it's the notification about the injury. It's an alarm system. You know, when you touch a hot stove, you pull your hand away instantly, right? Like way before your brain even has time to go, hey, that's hot. That's not just a reflex. That's your pain system doing its job perfectly, protecting you from serious damage. And the way it works is actually pretty cool. You've got this biological hardware called nociceptors. They're these specialized nerve cells all over your body. The best way to think of them is like tiny little security guards. Their one and only job is to spot trouble, stuff like extreme heat, too much pressure, or harmful chemicals. The second they detect a threat, they send an emergency signal straight up to headquarters, which is, of course, your brain. Okay, so if that's how it's supposed to work, what's going wrong in people with CIP? If the nociceptors are the security guards, what happens when the phone lines to the main office are down? What's so fascinating is that in a lot of these cases, the security guards, the nociceptors, are working just fine. They spot the danger, they sound the alarm, but the message just never gets through. It gets stopped cold somewhere along the way. The signal just can't complete its journey to the brain, all because of a tiny glitch in the genetic instructions for the wiring. And this is where it gets really interesting. One of the main genes responsible is called SCN9A. Let's imagine this gene as like a toll booth on the highway for pain signals. Now, in people with CIP, there's a mutation that jams the toll booth gate shut, so no pain signals can ever get through to the brain. No pain. But, and this is the wild part, a different mutation in the exact same gene can jam the toll booth gate open. This causes a totally different condition where people feel constant, horrible, burning pain for no reason at all. It's just incredible. One gene, two completely opposite and equally terrible results. So, if your built-in alarm system is completely broken and there's no cure for it, how do you even survive? I mean, how do you get through a normal day, let alone grow up? Well, you basically have to replace this automatic, unconscious system with constant, conscious effort. It's a life of total vigilance. Parents have to become like detectives, you know? They're checking their kids from head to toe every single day, looking for bruises, cuts, swelling, any sign of injury. Their whole life is about managing risk, patting the corners of tables, always checking the temperature of bathwater, and trying to teach their child to look for the visual signs of an injury, like redness or swelling, because they'll never ever feel it. And this is a perfect example of what that looks like in practice. This is a custom dental guard made for a child with CIP. Its whole purpose is to physically prevent their teeth from closing all the way. Why? To stop them from biting their own tongue or lips without even realizing it. Just let that sink in. It's literally custom-made armor to protect a child from themselves. Okay, so we've seen just how dangerous a life without pain really is. But this is where the story takes another turn. Because believe it or not, studying this incredibly rare and difficult condition might just hold the key to helping millions and millions of people. This expert, Carlos Cuecochea, he just nails it with his quote. He says, not feeling pain is one of the worst things that can happen to you. And it's true. The very thing we all try to avoid is actually a gift. It's our body's guardian. It's our teacher. It's our protector. And this is where the hope comes in. So many people, millions, suffer from chronic pain, right? And a lot of the painkillers we have now can be addictive or have really bad side effects. So scientists are looking at people with CIP and thinking, what if we could copy that? What if we could figure out how to safely and temporarily turn off pain, just like their genes do naturally? Remember that biological toll booth, the SCN9A gene? Well, that has become a huge target for pharmaceutical companies. The dream is to develop a whole new kind of painkiller, one that can safely close the gate just for a little while, stopping the pain signal right at the source. This could lead to powerful, non-addictive pain relief. It would be a total game changer in medicine, and it's all inspired by one of the rarest genetic conditions known to humanity. So, maybe the next time you stub your toe or get a headache, you'll think about it a little differently. Maybe you won't see it as just an enemy to be defeated. Maybe you'll see it for what it really is, a vital message, an alarm from a system that's working around the clock to keep you safe. So I'll leave you with this. After all this, what does pain mean to you now?